Great. So, name is Mick, and I'm with Celadon. Who is Celadon? Celadon is a tech company helping restaurants and food and beverage companies. And we're running a series of podcasts with restaurant leaders and food and beverage companies leaders to see what's going on the market, basically. And so far, we've talked to over 30 chain leaders, and we've already seen some issues that they're facing, like high labor and food costs. The retention is lower than expected among some restaurants or food hubs. And also being dependent too much on third party services is hard for them, as it's it takes a solid part of their profitability. So we'd love to hear your perspective on some different topics, and also in exchange to share this white paper with insights, challenges, and issues. Sounds good?
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Great. I guess I start with the basic question. I mean, I did some homework and I read about the manifesto market, and I guess I got the initial concept. But can you just give me a brief glimpse about your company, what you guys are doing, and is it a corporate or franchisee?
Yeah, sure. Mick, so Manifesto Market is the main brand of our company or our group, where we have several hospitality brands, but the one that most people know about is probably Manifesto. Manifesto is a market hall, basically, with a collection of food and beverage outlets, and each of those restaurants are independently owned. So we, in a sense, kind of build out these market halls. Then we sublease the spaces to independent restaurants who operate there independently as subtenants, basically. And we curate the mix of restaurants kind of pretty closely. So we're deeply involved in making sure the menus are right and we have the right operators. And at the same time, we operate a few bars in each of these locations. So we're also a hospitality operator in that sense. Where we kind of share the burden of operating these places and share the activity in the spaces itself. We also organize a series of events. So in each of our locations, these are big places, between, let's say, 3,000 square meters and almost 5,000 square meters. And so in each of these places, we usually have a kind of cultural entertainment program. So I'd say in any given year, we might do 150 events in each of our locations. And we communicate with our guests, through any variety of social media channels and loyalty programs. So you can see us as a kind of developer and creator of these food hall and food market concepts, while also an operator of the concepts as well. And we have locations in Prague, Czech Republic, and two locations in Germany and Berlin.
Oh, I see. I got it. Basically, you do all the infrastructure, all the setup, and it's up to hubs or restaurants to make their places according to their vision, to make it styled a bit. The rest, you're helping guys with the rest.
Correct. Yeah.
And since you have 3 locations, if I understand, 1 in Czech and 2 in Germany, how many people does it take to manage the company like this? Because you should have people aboard working with restaurants, those hubs, and also some other. How big is your team? I'm really curious.
Yeah, sure. So our team has fluctuated a bit in the last couple of years as we kind of the company's 6 years old, by the way. So we're not really a startup, but only in the sense that we're growth oriented and we're still growing relatively fast. So our team, dynamics have changed a little bit. We have, I think, 14 or 15 people in our head office in Prague. And then across the 3 locations, we would have probably about 100 people. So 115, 120 people across the whole company, spread between management and hospitality operations or bar operations.
Oh, I got it. Well, that's a really huge team, even though it might be considered as a small business. The team is huge, and it takes really a lot of time and passion to manage all that stuff. But basically, partially similar to the stuff of our company, was something around 116, as I checked our Slack today.
Okay. Yeah. We've actually, we're a little bit bigger in the past as we started building out different teams in the head office. But as we realized we wanted to kind of take a slower pace of development, we focus now. We're kind of really keenly focused on the core teams, which is hospitality management, operations, finance, marketing,
Mhm.
kind of property management. Those are the real kind of cores of the business.
I got it. I got it. I'll be honest with you, Martin. All the companies and chain leaders I talk to, I guess you guys are the first and the only till now who, provides all the infrastructure to, for restaurants and some other companies to be presented. So I'm really curious about jumping into some questions, if you don't mind. As you said, you've been running for approximately 6 years right now, and one of the topics, even though it's far behind us, is how was the COVID time for you guys? Because I understand that you are mostly relying on restaurants and lots of countries faced lockdown. How was it for you? What were the challenges for you, and how did you make it up?
Oh, it feels like it was a long time ago now, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's really like a different lifetime ago. It's before the war, and it's before Germany for us. So it's just like another war. I think at that time the business was about a year and a half, 2 years old. So you can imagine like the first thought was like, should we just shut it down?
Oh,
Because we're a hospitality business and
yeah.
there was no kind of light at the end of the tunnel when COVID first started. But that's not what we did. We sort of doubled down on a couple of ideas that we had. And actually at the time we were really a landlord. We weren't a developer. We were not an operator. So we basically we built the place and then we kind of stepped back and just expected to collect the rent every month. But when the businesses are not operating, that obviously became very challenging. So we had some ideas that we would like to take over the bar operations, and we'd like to have a more active role in delivery of the food, and that we would like to build some technology to kind of, basically core technology that would link these menus across the different businesses and restaurants in a way that we could then facilitate better delivery to the customer. And we had like a 12-month, 18-month roadmap for that project to basically bundle all of the menus within the locations and then offer them to the guest as one kind of concentrated menu for delivery or pre-order. And we decided to, we had no choice, but we basically did that in 5 days, I think, rather than 12 months. We just completely accelerated the project and launched it, in a very kind of, I call it like bubblegum and tape way. We just put it together as fast as we could, and we just launched it, I think, a couple of days later. And so we also built a bar business later, a couple of months later in the pandemic, because there was a lot of labor on the market. So we were able to kind of hire a lot of bartenders immediately for when the business was reopening. So we got lucky in a sense that we wanted to do these two things, over time. We thought it would take 12 to 18 months to kind of build both those businesses, and we built them both in a matter of months. And we were fortunate in that we had a location that people liked. The brand already was quite popular. It was one of the new brands on the market, and we were able to bundle this delivery offer very quickly. And we had basically the best offer in the city for people that were, working from home, stuck at home. We could deliver, draft beer within 25 minutes. We could deliver meals from 15 different restaurants within 25 minutes. And so if you're sitting at home with 5 kids or whatever, 2 kids, you can order from 15 different restaurants, and you can get, some beer, fresh beer. And also we started bottling cocktails as well. So, we just innovated the offer very quickly and went to market with it very quickly. And we were, it was accepted until restaurants reopened. We were one of the first restaurants to reopen in the city because we have large outdoor spaces. So I think from all perspectives, we just right place, right time, innovated very quickly, went to market with our products very quickly. And so it was, we benefited from all of that.
I got it. Well, you have a really impressive project management skills in terms of bringing making a roadmap real in 5 days instead of 12 to 18 months. That's really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, we had some help obviously from our technology partners and flexibility from them because they were quite keen to help. And so, we were able, and our mantra, we have a poster in our office with the 10 principles of this company, and one of them is fast is better than perfect. And so we just go quite fast, and the products that bundled delivery product was pretty bad the first couple of months, but it worked enough to, for Uber Eats to accept it and to kind of integrate with their platform. So, and the customers seem to like it. So we just improved it over time.
I got it. And by the way, you mentioned that you had over 15 restaurants and bars during that period. Did you keep the same number of locations, or did you decide to shorten it a bit?
We actually increased a couple of restaurants. So I think initially when we launched, when we first kind of opened, in this period, even as dark kitchens, I think only five or six joined us because everyone was like, "You guys are crazy. You just shut down for a couple months and see what happens." And we're not ones to sit down and rest, so we just said we're going to launch with whoever comes with us. So the first day there's probably 2, then 3, then maybe 5 by the end of the second week, and then by the time like the first month was over, second month we had 15 restaurants operating. And then actually as the pandemic went on, we added 3 restaurants, I think, during that period.
Oh, I got it. Makes sense, and definitely something that really helped you during that period because, lots of restaurants, bars, as far as were forced to shut down, especially those moms and pops restaurants or shops, something like that. So yeah. By the way, just out of curiosity, are all these bars? Are there some kind of marked and centralized in terms of ordering, like when you jump into some kind of, I don't know, maybe website or a hub, or are they have their own different web page, web store page, something like that?
I think everyone has their own page, and we're actually rebuilding all of this right now. But we eventually integrated our offer to Uber Eats, who helped us a lot modify their end. So we basically utilized other people's technology to get what we needed. Then we built our own middleware internally to basically bundle the orders internally. But we're now moving to a system where actually there will be a micro kind of page for each of our restaurants where you can kind of pre-order an order for take home. So that should be launched by the end of this year.
I got it. Now, by the way, we've already touched the ground about third-party services like Uber and some else. Do you guys rely only on it, or maybe some other I don't know, maybe DoorDash, GrabHub, whatever there is in the market, depending per region, Bolt, Glovo?
Yeah, it all depends on the region, and the challenge with that is that all of those guys have different ways of operating, different teams, different work ethics.
Exactly.
It's the challenge with Europe is that, you don't have, it's hard to build an enterprise deal or a framework contract with the third parties because every market, as you know, has a little bit different preference, or there's a front horse or a more popular company in each city. So, we have to, unfortunately, and Germany is very particular as well. There's some brands in Germany that aren't outside of Germany. So, unfortunately, we work with lots of different providers.
Oh, I see. I got it. So,
and it's important probably to know in the context of this conversation, actually, that offer is not as popular as it was during the pandemic. So that's, it went from a majority of the business down to 15% or so towards the end of the pandemic as we were operating physical locations and then online. And now it's less than 5% of the business. So it's become a much less important business line for us. And it's almost unprofitable. So to be honest, we don't focus a lot on that business segment anymore.
I got it. Well, definitely, since people are mostly, the pandemic is almost over or close to it. Still, there are some echoes. People are enjoying, going out somewhere, and places like Manifesto Market is the place where we go in to visit it, to enjoy some food, to enjoy some energy, some atmosphere that's going on in there. So for sure, there would be a small percentage of the third-party delivery and the decrease in the numbers. Basically, you just answered one of the questions I also wanted to follow up with.
Okay.
What I'm really curious is that, assuming you can disclose it, of course, is that how big is this part of restaurant in your business model? I mean, I understand that the core business and over half of the revenue is generated by your relations with the hubs and food markets. Just out of curiosity, how big is the impact of your own restaurants and food hubs compared to core business?
What do you mean by how big is the impact? Sorry.
I mean, like let's say in percentage, how split is the difference between like, okay, here is your like annual or monthly revenue, so here is the percentage that's generated by your own restaurants. So the other part of the percentage is something that is generated like by providing the infrastructure for hubs and restaurants, maybe something else for like events. I don't know. So I'm really curious if that's something that might be disclosed, because if how big is this part of like your own restaurants? Because you as you mentioned, that's you're not really interested and it isn't as profitable as it used to be the third party delivery. So I'm curious if like you're right now running your own locations and restaurants is also makes sense for you in terms of profit.
Yeah, so I won't disclose too much
Okay.
On the numbers, but I think like the third party delivery, or let's say call it food delivery, where it's third party or we do it ourselves, is less than 5% of the business today. Like maybe it's like 3% of the revenues and almost no profit. And on premise food sales are about 70%. On premise alcohol sales are around 30%. And I think that the profits are let's say we weigh more heavily on the profits in the bar business and the beverage business than the revenues we collect from rent through the sale of food. So it's both are important segments of the business for us. But if you look at the food business for us, which is like third party restaurants that are renting space from us, we collect a rent from them. So it's like it's a property management business that compared to the bar business is about equal.
Oh, I see. So it's big, approximately around 50-50.
It's pretty much 50-50, yeah.
Oh, okay, I got it. And since you, possess a huge territory for organizing something, do you also provide some kind of events like, weddings or business events or showcases, whatever?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is like around 10% of the business today, in terms of sales.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's probably in terms of income, or it's 5 to 10% of our let's say our revenues, but top line is probably 10% of overall sales.
Oh, I see. I got it. Let's get back maybe partially to the operational side. What are the biggest challenges or maybe the biggest problems that you're right now facing from the operational perspective?
I think the big our business segment is pretty unique. There's not a whole lot of international operators in our space because it's pretty complicated to do this type of business, particularly across countries. So one of the challenges I think that most operators face are technology challenges and payments challenges. So like right now we have a project launched about 2 months ago, and we hope to complete it in November to replace all the hardware and software across our locations for point of sale and payments. So working to kind of implement new payment technology and new point of sale technology across Germany and Czech Republic for 45 restaurants, plus or minus. Wow. And then basically we're building a middleware right now to sort the payments and then settle all the payments with our tenants. So basically we're like merchant of record on all the payments, and we need to settle them in an automated way with all of our subtenants and sub-merchants. So that's kind of a complicated statutory kind of fiscal problem in 2 countries.
I can imagine.
That gives some level of transparency and protection of the revenues, obviously, the settlements to each of our tenants. So it's, I think it's one of the challenges that many operators would face when they're kind of moving into multiple locations, especially on cross borders. And I think the big problem. It's not a problem. It's just a challenge to kind of synchronize all that data, particularly the payments data, into one business intelligence platform that allows us to get the amount of data we need from the system.
Yeah, I can imagine, because I used to work partially with at the company who were also suggesting solutions for, like, food and beverage companies, restaurant companies. Basically, their solution was kind of simple and on the plate, like they were offering a payment gateway similar to what people in China already have by providing a QR code as a payment system in order to save up on, like, on commissions for a bank, for payment aggregators. So their commission fee was lower, approximately in 1.5, 2 times compared to what were local banks offering. So it was always challenging when we were discussing, like, connecting to either their hardware or software, because some software had only some type of scanners that did not support scanning QR codes. So yeah.
Yeah, it's this whole business. To be honest, it's incredible that it's so messy. Actually, what I thought would be the smallest challenge within this is loyalty and prepaid cards. Seems like it should be a pretty simple business. There's plenty, I would say hundreds of companies out there offering solutions. None of them have really thought about a multi-tier system, which allows, like, a larger business like us to provide different types of loyalty across different restaurants. So if you talk to other franchise partners or franchise owners, like, probably, I don't know, if they're the franchisee in Germany for Poland for Starbucks, they're going to offer the same thing at Starbucks probably across the country. But if they're the franchisee for Starbucks in Germany, Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, they want a multi-tier loyalty program with the same back end, basically, or back office, and a similar looking front end for the customer. It's almost impossible to find somebody that does that. Not just across countries, but actually, if you have, let's say you have Starbucks and Costa Coffee and you own those brands in the same country, you might want to offer a similar loyalty program, both of them, but you can't right now. You've got to do 2 different programs. But anyway, that part of the business is remarkably complicated, and we're actually dealing with that right now. We have to roll out loyalty 6 months after we're rolling out the new point of sale and payments, just because companies don't offer what we need right now.
Oh, I see. I got it. Well, it partially reminds me of, like, we have actually a pool of customers we work with, just for context, with, like, similar to the companies that you mentioned, like, McDonald's Central America or San Martin restaurant and bakery. And what's really fascinating about McDonald's is that every country has its own unique menu and loyalty program, how it works. So they differ per region. So one thing that might be working, as you properly mentioned, in Germany or Poland, or maybe in the States, is working completely different, let's say, in Central America, or the way how they approached. So yeah, it's but still, it depends on if you're, like, limited by the rules of franchisee or not, if you ask me, because McDonald's in this way is kind of, like, open-minded compared to what we've, like, seen on the market, because there are other franchises, like well-known pizza franchises, where they provide you all the infrastructure, including who will be developing, like, this solution for you, who would be the integrator, and even probably the pre-setup of the loyalty program, so you can't put too much into the customization in order to make some analytics, because you will be provided with everything else. But yeah, I can understand that pain.
Yeah, it's painful sometimes.
But if I understand you correctly, this is the loyalty program that you're going to have, so you didn't have it before, because I guess I didn't find anything on the internet when I was prepping towards our call.
We don't. We have a prepaid card only, but different solutions in Germany and Czech Republic, simply because of the technology issues I talked about.
Oh, I see. I got it. But these 45 restaurants, they are all of your own, or they also include some, like, food hubs that are connected to you, like the ones who are renting the place?
Yeah, they're all, well, I think of those, 6 are ours, and then the rest are third-party tenants, basically.
Oh, I see. I got it. Well, it's partially similar to the franchisee business, when you provide also them with some infrastructure, the tech solutions, and they work within the tools at their disposal.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great. Well, what else? I guess I almost out of my basic questions. I have some others, but I assume they might not be relevant. So I do appreciate your time, Martin. Thanks for the insights.
Yeah. Thank
We're
you
going
for calling
to
me.
share with you all this, all the white paper with insights of the market. Just out of curiosity, since you've mentioned this part about the loyalty program, and it might be MS, as I said, we've done similar things to McDonald's and also San Martin's and other restaurants. Would you be opposed to have another conversation to maybe dig in deeper into these topics, and if there is something that we as a company might be able to do or provide for you? If no, then no, I'm not pushing you. I'm just really curious because we have expertise in what we're doing.